We can all help. And if you are unable to do great things, you can do small things in a great way, right? If you are unable to do great things, you can do small things in a great way. Rome was not built in a day. It's by small, small things that you can make the difference. There are many, many small things you can easily do, which make a huge difference in the life of many people. And in fact, that is how I started working in the Library of Tibetan Works and Archives when I became director. I didn't have much money, I didn't have a lot of expertise, but I said I will start from small things. Always considering what people need in Kucha Chahiye. Is there light on the street or not? Is there water there or not? Every small things you see, then you set it right. You can make it right. Right, that is really important. And then another quote by Martin Luther King. He says, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what do you think? Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what is it? Huh? What is the life's most persistent and urgent question? What is it? Huh? Huh? How do you spread love? Any other? Yeah, good, very good, very good. So he says, life's most persistent, urgent question is, what are you doing for others? I mean, it's so good, really. The very meaning of life is to make others happy. In this life's turbulent journey, if you are able to make 10 people happy, then your visit on this planet is more or less meaningful. Right? Right? No, that's what this text is saying, right from the beginning until to the end. It's saying, help, help. This is the way to help. Reduce your negative emotions. This is the way to help. Cultivate your positive emotions. That's the way to help. In order to do that, you should be mindful, conscientious, hateful, right? So therefore, jikden dewa chinye ba tigun shenten du le chung. Jikden dunge chinye ba tigun rangden du le chung. Shantideva says, Jikden Deva Chinyeva, all the happinesses that you see in the world are a result of developing a wish, aspiring that others be happy. It is because of this wish, aspiring that others be happy, all good things that we see in the world came into being. And all the sufferings that you see in the world, Jikden Dunge Chinyeva Tigu Rangde Dwelechung, all the sufferings that you see in the world are a result of thinking only about one's own well-being. Thinking only about one's own well-being. And then he says, if you still don't understand this, then it says, "Jikden dewa chinye ba tigun shinte dule, jikden dunga chinye ba rangde dule chung. Chiba rangi tuanze da tuwan shinje tuanze ba dingi jini kebarto." If you don't understand this, then you compare yourself to the Buddha, he says. Buddha is able to help so many sentient beings. He came like 2,500 years ago, but still millions of people are benefited. And look at yourself. You've been practicing for many lives only for your own personal well-being. So hello, where are you now? If thinking just oneself and not forgetting others is a big thing, Then you did this for so many lives. So you must have reached somewhere now. Where are you? Hello, that's what I'm saying. Hello, where are you? In the Trixie Monastery. Something like that, right? I mean, it's really amazing. Great summary. Great summary. So as much as possible, if you, I mean, it's difficult to just abandon one's, desire and need and all these things. It's not easy, but as much as possible, if you lessen this grasping and craving towards yourself, thinking only, I'm not saying don't think about yourself, thinking only about yourself all the time, and then developing obsession, developing craving, developing grasping, is very bad for your health. Right? For your spiritual health, physical health, and mental health. So purpose of such study of such a text is to liberate oneself from this bondage of thinking just about oneself and open up. As I said yesterday, when you develop this selfishness, you develop a narrow-minded attitude, which is really restricting, constricting, and suffocating. But if you open up, think about everybody, it's you open your inner door, like opening windows and doors, letting fresh air come in. So it's your stupid thought which really restricts you, suffocates you. Right? So therefore, I think we should read the text. Guarding alertness or conscientiousness. So we cultivated bodhicitta. We confessed negative deeds, right? We spoke about practicing the precepts. So in order to practice the precepts, you need to guard them. You need to guard them. Those who wish to guard their practice should very attentively guard their minds. For those who do not guard their minds will be unable to guard their practice, because it is the mind which is wandering everywhere. You may be sitting here, but your mind may be wandering in the lay market. Right? Very difficult to guard the mind. The mind is moving with great speed. Semne yoshin chupade, sungwarkashin shigad, dagendamu chebashin lodademe sangwarcha. Meaning, semne yoshin chup, the mind is fluctuating. The mind is fluctuating and moving like a flesh in the flesh of light. Very difficult to guard and very difficult to pacify. So therefore, how are you going to set that right? You can set that right just like an arrowsman straightens the arrow. When an arrowsman straightens the arrow, if you pull it quickly and hard, it will break. Right? If you don't use some force, you will not be able to straighten it. So gently, slowly. So the mind should be guarded slowly. You cannot force mind. You need to tell the mind that this is not good for you. This is good for you. And when you come up with reasons, then the mind listens. Whereas for the body, if the body does not listen, you can use some force, imprison, put in the prison. You cannot do this with the mind. Mind is very slippery. Very slippery. In this world, unsubdued and crazed elephants are incapable of causing such harm as is the miseries of the deepest hell, which can be caused by the unleashed elephant of mind. If you imagine two kinds of mad elephant, one ordinary elephant, That ordinary elephant can bring some destruction, destroy the gardens, protect the trees, or houses, something like that. The elephant cannot do more than this. But this mad elephant, the mad mind of elephant, it can go into the deepest, and if you don't understand it can go into deepest problems in your life. If you don't so what should you do? Just as you tame the old elephant, the mad elephant. Similarly, you tame this elephant, mad elephant like mine. But if the elephant of my mind is firmly bound on all sides by a rope of mindfulness, all fears will cease to exist and all virtues will come. So mindfulness means not to forget, what to practice and what to give up. And you need to practice mindfulness and also conscientiousness. Conscientiousness means always judging what you are doing physically or believing mentally. And then whenever you do something, you do it consciously, knowingly. That is consciousness. Tigers, lions, elephants, bears, snakes, and all forms of enemies, the guardians of the hell walls, evil spirits, and cannibals, will all be bound by binding my mind alone, and will all be subdued by subduing my mind alone. So the countless fears that you get, right? Countless fears you get, countless problems you get, then the problem of overthinking, whatever it is done by your mind. It is done by your mind, right? And no one can bring such big amount of destruction and problem like this into your life. Do you think there is a thing called mind? First of all, this is the problem. We always say my mind, my body. Where is mind? Show me. Today is the time to show your mind to me. Show me the naked truth of the mind. कहाँ है mind बताओ? Where is the mind? Where? Some people say like this. Some people say like this. So where is the mind? That is the biggest problem. We talk so much about mind in Buddhist practice. What is mind? Huh? That doesn't make anything better. Consciousness, mind, whatever. You see, what is it? What is it? Mind is the definition given in the Buddhist text is mind is something that is luminous and cognitive. Something that luminous and cognitive. But that also doesn't make it very clear. Right? So I can give a mind. To me, I always say mind is an energy, of course. Very subtle energy. So the best example probably that I can give is if you see the electric wire. Do you see any electric wire here? But anyway, you know what is electric wire. You see the electric wire. Then that wire that you see is like your body. But do you think inside there is electric current? Do you think the electric current is running through that wire? Huh? Huh? Not so sure. Huh? Yeah. So when you turn on the appliance, turn on the switch, then the current flows through the wire. But can you see the current? So because you are not able to see the current, if you say there is no current, I don't believe in current, then I'll make you touch that live wire. झटका मारेगा तो पता चलेगा ठीक है So mind is like that, like the current which gives the light. So there are many. What you need to understand here is when we talk about phenomena, It's not only material object. There are many non-material objects. Some are so subtle that you will not be able to see it. But for example, in your body as a human body, you have big brain, then nervous systems and legs, hands, so many things are there. You can see. But any living being, all living beings doesn't have to be like this one, like human beings. It can be much subtler. For example, mosquito, much smaller than us, but quite efficient in stinking, quite efficient. But then mosquito is not the smallest one. There are many other smaller ones. Some of them you can't see. Some of them you can see with a microscope. Small red box, almost non-existent, but you can see they are quite active, moving here and there. So this water that is given to me, I can't see any bug here right now, but if I use a microscope, it may be there. So how does this small animals function? Small sentient beings function? They don't have the brain, they don't have nervous system, amoeba, and you can go all the way down. So that's what the Buddhist teachings are saying. In Buddhism, we talk about three realms. One realm is called formless realm, a realm where there is no form. Right? So it's an energy, a powerful energy, and because of which you are you are able to move around and do things, think things because of this mind. So it's really the mover and the shaker. And if you're able to control this energy, you will be able to control everything. And if you're unable to control this, you will become crazy, you will become mad, you will suffer. And this mind and this subtle mind and the subtle wind, we call it, travel together. So this subtle wind helps the mind. Actually, the so-called subtle wind and subtle mind are same. They're said to be different in terms of their function. And the subtle wind makes the mind go to the object. It makes you move. And the mind perceives the object. So in terms of perceiving the object, it's called mind. In terms of motility, it is called wind. And you and I, all of us know how powerful this wind or this mind. For example, I have seen some people, suffering from certain disturbances of wind. So because of these disturbances, they always have to do like this. Nobody is shaking them, moving them, right? Because of that particular wind disorder and sickness, right? So that energy, the mind, if disturbed, then you get all these problems. The perfect teacher himself has shown that in this way, all fears, as well as all fears, those people who are talking about all fears, is here, that in this way, all fears, as well as all the miseries, originate from the mind. If this is not the case, then who has made the so-called hell? It's something of your experience, because of which, in relation to which we say hell. But otherwise, without relating to the mind, you can't think about a hell created by someone to cut you into pieces, to boil you, in hot water. Who intentionally created all the weapons for those in hell? Who created the burning iron ground? From where did all the women in hell ensures? The Mighty One has said that all such things are the workings of an evil mind. Hence, within the three world spheres, there is nothing to fear other than my mind. And scientifically, they have tested it. They put you in a machine, big machine, and fix all implements in your brain. And then when you press certain important parts, you start seeing heaven. They've experimented it. I mean, very pleasurable feeling. Then they touch certain points, you feel miserable, you get frightened, you know. So it's all related to your mind, you see. And when your mind is disturbed, even if there is no ghost, you see ghost, right? So mind is the most important thing, whether it's your experience of hell or heaven, whether it's your practice of giving. For example, he says, if the perfection of generosity were the elevation of the world's poverty, then since beings are still serving now, in what manner did the previous Buddha perfect it? When we talk about perfection of giving, it is perfection of giving in the sense of in your mind. If you have this practice of generosity, this is called perfection of giving. It is a state of mind. It is not completely eradicating the poverty of all beings. If that is the case, then how can we say the Buddha achieved perfection? Because we have still so much poverty here. Similarly, in the case of practice of morality, nowhere has the killing of fish and other creatures been eradicated. Still, so many places, animals are killed. For the attainment of merely the thought to forsake such things is explained as the perfection of moral discipline. So it's again state of your mind. When your mind says, "I'm not going to kill any animal," things like that, that is perfection. It doesn't mean that all places will be empty of people killing each other. It's a state of your mind. Similarly, in terms of practice of uh, patience, unruly beings are unlimited as space. They cannot possibly all be overcome. But if I overcome the thoughts of my anger alone, this is equal to having vanquished all enemies. He gives a beautiful example. Where would I possibly find enough leather with which to cover the surface of the earth? But wearing leather just on the soles of my shoes is equivalent to covering the earth with it. So that means with the fear that your feet will be pricked by thorns, and if you make a determination saying, okay, I don't want to have my feet pricked by thorns, so therefore I'm going to cover the whole globe with a leather. Is it possible? Is it possible? Not possible, right? It's not possible, and you don't have to do it also. Because if just to cover the sole of your shoes with a nice leather, this is equal to having covered the whole globe with leather. See, such a beautiful example. And you will never come a time where you say, okay, I've now destroyed all my enemy. Now I can sleep peacefully. If you kill this enemy, then next time there is another third, fourth, fifth. So many enemies will be there. But instead of eliminating the people outside, if you destroy this anger within you, there's achievement of perfection of patience. Likewise, it is not possible for me to restrain the external course of things, but should I restrain the mind of me, says, mind of mine, what would be the need to restrain all else? Dikare, what is he saying here? So this one, Kare, yeah, this is part of practice of patience. Likewise, it is not possible for me to restrain the external course of things, but should I restrain this mind of mine, what would be the need to restrain all else? Then, practice of effort, practice of effort. Effort is also a state of mind. Although the development merely a clear state of concentration. clear state of concentration means if you are practicing loving kindness and compassion, and in this way, if you develop the clarity of mind, then the result will be can result in taking birth in Brahma's realm. Physical and vocal actions cannot so result when accompanied by weak mental conduct. So, in other words, he's saying whether it's physical or verbal or mental, if you make great effort, then the result will be also great. But if your effort is weak, right? If your effort is weak, mm, if your effort is weak, then you will not achieve the state of Brahman and so forth, as explained earlier. Similarly, concentration. The knower of reality has said that even if recitation and physical hardships are practiced for long periods of time, they will be meaningless if the mind is distracted elsewhere. Concentration. As I've always mentioned, concentration is the source of success in every field. Concentration is the source of success both in war and in peace, in study, whatever you try to do. If you concentrate, whatever you're doing, if you concentrate, number one, you will enjoy it. We are not able to enjoy anything what we are doing because we are doing something but mentally thinking something else. You are not even able to enjoy the taste of the food. You may be chewing, but your mind is thinking something else, right? So concentration is very, very important. So your concentration should be the concentration like those small kids. When the small kids, when they play, their concentration is full. Even if you give them a broken toy, they'll be so happy. The whole day they are playing. Whole day they will play. Parents have to come and say, yeah, now you have spent so much time, stop, stop. Still they will not stop. Whereas we grow old and get some degrees and do some studies, and after that, we are not happy with anything. हिंदी में बोलता है ना, फिर क्या करता है, मुंह लटका हुआ जाता है. Not happy with this one, not happy with that one. यार आज तो मैंने कुछ भी नहीं किया, वो भी चाहिए, वो भी चाहिए, मेरे पास नहीं है, right? है ना? So as we grow older, even with so-called education, we are not really happy. Something is missing. I tell you this story of many, many back when I was His Holiness's translator. A Japanese young man with his two friends came to see His Holiness. So five of us were sitting there. So this young Japanese said, when I was a student, I used to study very hard, hoping that I will get very good job in a Japanese company, very high salaried job in a good Japanese company. That was my objective. So I worked very hard and did very well in my study and got that job in that best company where I'm still working. I get very good salary, he said. But still, I feel something missing. His Holiness, can you tell me what is it that is missing? Then His Holiness said, maybe you need to keep in touch more with other people. You see? And similarly, scientific kind of survey and experiment has been done with a group of smart students studying in Harvard University for many years, not just 1 year, for many years they followed these students. So they were all quite good in their studies. And then these researchers, they followed them after they finished their study, what kind of job they are doing. They all got quite good job. And once they got this job, he found that some of the students, they are only thinking of their job. They wanted to rise higher, right? So they were forgetful, they were relatives, they don't think much about their parents. All they want is go higher, climb the ladder higher, make more money. So those people gradually started suffering. They found it. And then there are others who are equally smart, got good job, but they also maintain their relationship with their parents, with their friends, going for holiday, things like that. So these people are, at the end of the day, much more successful than those people who devoted only for their work. So therefore, in your life also, yes, it is important to do work, but it's also important to enjoy in between. Go for a hike, do some singing, do some dancing, do some swimming, whatever it is. It's very important, right? Otherwise, money will not give you love. Have you got some money which said, I love you so much, right? Your money, your wealth, none of this can give you affection, right? It's just piece of paper, right? You need it, but don't expect love and affection from those material objects, right? Then wisdom. Did you do your meditation this morning? What kind of meditation? Huh? Single pointed meditation. Was it successful? Huh? Partially successful. Okay. So, wisdom. Even those who wish to find happiness and overcome misery will wander with no aim nor meaning if they do not comprehend the secret of the mind, the paramount significance of Dharma. So this verse is saying, unless you know the secret of the mind, which is the most important thing in the spiritual practice, even if you want happiness, do not want suffering, you will not be able to destroy your suffering. You will end up wandering aimlessly in the cycle of existence. So what is the secret of the mind? If you don't know the secrecy of your mind, what is the secrecy of your mind? Huh? The secrecy of your mind is that your mind, which is so important, but your mind does not have inherent existence. The emptiness nature of your mind is the secrecy of your mind. The ultimate nature, the emptiness nature of the mind is called the secrecy of your mind because you don't know about it. You don't know the ultimate nature of your mind. Just like any other phenomena, your mind also does not have any inherent independent existence. So you need to know this, right? That's what he's saying. And this will be known by the wisdom. This being so, I shall hold and guard my mind well. Without the discipline of guarding the mind, what use are many other disciplines? Just as I would be attentive and careful of a wound when amidst the bustling, uncontrolled crowd, similarly, I should always guard the wound of my mind when dwelling among harmful people. And you need to be very careful and alert when you mix with different kind of people. And if I'm careful of a wound through fear of it being slightly hard, then why do I not guard the wound of my mind through fear of being crushed by the mountains of hell? Should I behave in such a way as this, then whether I am among harmful people or even in the midst of women, women are very dangerous. The steady effort to control myself will not decline. This is saying women, because this, as I said, is this teaching is given primarily to the monks, right? So for the monks, they have to be very careful about the women. That's the meaning. It's not saying women is bad or anything like that. It is better to be without wealth, honor, body, and livelihood, and it is better to let other virtues deteriorate rather than ever to let the virtues of my mind decline. Because if you let your mind decline, all problems will arise. Oh, you who wish to guard your minds, I beseech you with folded hands. Always exert yourself to guard mindfulness and alertness. And this is very moving, you know. Shantideva is so concerned about well-being of others. He's with folded hands. He makes this request. He makes this request by saying that those of you who wish to guard the mind, I request you with my folded hands, please always, guard yourself with mindfulness and alertness. Mindfulness and alertness means it is the practice of mindfulness which remembers what to practice and what to discard. And then it's the job of guarding alertness or consciousness to see whether mindfulness is staying on the object or not. So these two are the guards, right? Did I discuss about the two parties already? Yes. So there also I said your two guards are mindfulness and consciousness. Because if you don't guard it and let yourself disturbed by mind, then you will not be able to do anything properly. Just like somebody is under the influence of drug, when you are strongly influenced by negative emotions, you will always go in the wrong side. You will not be able to concentrate. You will not be able to do anything properly. For example, he says, people who are disturbed by sickness have no strength to do anything. If you are suffering from physical illness, you have no capacity to do anything. Likewise, those whose minds are disturbed by confusion, right, have no strength to do anything wholesome, right? Negative emotions make you confused. Negative emotions will make you weak. Negative emotions will destroy your stability. Negative emotions will make you ugly. Negative emotions will make you crazy. Negative emotions will take you to the wrong direction. Negative emotions will make you go with bad friends. Negative emotions will make you what? There are countless negative results if you let yourself control by anger, jealousy, hatred, attachment, and so forth. The big disturbance and conflicts that we see in the world today are a result of negativity. Some people have nothing to eat. Some people are always overeating, right? Some people are so rich, they have no idea where to keep the wealth. Some people have nothing. There's this huge gap between rich and poor, and the discrimination between people, black, white, the segregation that is made. All this is because of narrow-mindedness. Otherwise, we are all same. Whether you are from east or west or north or south, a man or women, we are all same. We all want happiness, do not want suffering. We all have emotions. We are same. But we are unable to see that sameness. We are able to see only the differences. We know how to divide, we don't know how to unite. You are very good in dividing people because your mind is narrow. Narrow mind only knows how to divide, not how to unite. If you have a larger perspective, even if you think about the genes, scientists have done experiment, you know, and tested the differences in genes. There is not much difference in terms of the quality and other things. There's not much difference, right? So we are unnecessarily making this division. Nature does not make this division. If there's an earthquake, will it make division? Saying that I will move only the Tibetans, I will shake and move only the Tibetans, not the Chinese. Huh? When the sun shines, does it make discrimination? I will shine only to the people whose age is less than 15, not to the old ones. When there's a tsunami, does it make discrimination? So if you look at the nature, nature does not make discrimination. It is us, the stupid, narrow-minded people, who make discrimination. This is higher caste, this is a lower caste. Who are you to make this distinction? Stupid. And that's why a great person like Gandhi coined the term Harijan, the so-called lower caste. In order to uplift them, he said, these are the sons of God. And if you visit places like the Varda Ashram in Madras and some other places, one of my friends was a very staunch follower of Mahatma Gandhiji. In his late, probably 70s or something, he's one of the prominent Indian politician and also leader. And later on, in probably somewhere in his 70s, he came to listen one of the teachings by His Holiness's senior tutor, Ling Rinpoche. He becomes so moved. He's very intelligent. He wrote 4 or 5 books about the Gandhian way of life. And then he was so moved by the Buddhist teaching, he became Buddhist. His name is Ravindra Verma. So then later on, he came to Dharamsala to receive teaching from His Holiness. So I was then, of course, the translator. And he was leading us such a simple life. Such a simple life. He brings with him a bunch of, dried banana and 1 powder milk and nothing much. He needs some water, Very simple life. And later on, he became the leader of the, how to say, labor group or something in India. And he told me the story that when he joined this Varda ashram, following Gandhiji's way of life, they were forbidden to live in rooms. He said, this creation of rooms are the works of the devil. And cooking food is the works of the devil. And they used to live outside, just like the Buddhists, exactly like the Buddhists, the ancient Buddhist practices. They used to sleep and to stay under the tree, whether it's hot or raining, whatever. And he used to eat uncooked potato, including potato. He said anything when comes up as a crop, it is cooked by the nature. So again, cooking it on fire is the devil's work. That's what they used to believe. So he used to eat, raw potato, and one of his best job is to clean the toilets of everybody. Like that, you see. So the point that I'm making is, in the history, like many great teachers and people have come who try to set people, in the right path, taking them from the wrong path. But then there are so many stupid people, so they're so good in making discrimination. You are from Hindu, you are from Muslim, you are from Buddhist, you are men, you are women, you are tall, you are short. But this is, I said, this is wrong because the law of nature does not make discrimination. You are born in the same way, you don't remember that. When you die, you will die in the same way. And after death, the size of the coffin will be same for the king and the pauper. Right? Even if you know, take with you several boxes of dollars or gold, doesn't make any sense. right? So mindfulness. So that's what he's saying. If your mind is disturbed by negative emotions, then you have no strength to do anything wholesome. Whatever has been learnt, contemplated, and meditated upon by those whose minds lack alertness, just like water in a leaking pot. Water in the leaking, the more, however much water you put in the leaking pot, it will run away, right? So similarly, whether you are practicing listening, contemplation, and meditation, but without getting alertness, then it will not stay in your mind. So that's why we see people, will not be written in the memory. This line is not under this verse. This line, whatever has been learned, contemplated, and meditated upon by those whose minds lack alertness, just like water in a leaking vase, will not be written in this memory. So this line has to go under verse number 25. And verse number 26 starts, even those who have much learning, faith, and willing perseverance will become defiled by a fall due to the mistake of lacking alertness. The thieves of unalertness in falling upon the decline of mindfulness, meaning that as soon as you relax your hold on mindfulness, then immediately the thieves will come, the robbers will come. If it has come to defend you, and then you get angry, right? So they are very opportunistic, negative emotions. So in order to maintain mindfulness, therefore I shall never let mindfulness depart from the doorway of my mind. If it gets, I should recall the misery of the lower realms and firmly re-establish it there. Through staying in the company of spiritual masters, through the instruction of the abbots, and through fear, mindfulness will easily be generated in fortunate people who practice this practice with respect. And what is important for you to do is to have some sense of integrity when you do the practice. And you should think that I'm always in the presence of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who are always endowed with unobstructed vision. So wherever you are, don't think that I'm alone, so I can do anything that I want. You may not be seen by some ordinary people, but you are seen by Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. By thinking in this way, I shall mindfully develop a sense of shame, respect, and fear. Also, through doing this, recollection of Buddha will repeatedly occur. When mindfulness is set with the purpose of guarding the doorway of the mind, then alertness will come about, and even that which had gone will return. When just as I am about to act, I see that my mind is tainted with defilement, at such a time I should remain unmovable like a piece of wood. So as soon as you start seeing that your mind is now going in the wrong way, then you should not say anything, do anything, remain like a piece of wood. And in terms of how you look, how you see, never should I look around distractedly for no purpose. With a resolute mind, I should always keep my eyes cast downwards. You should not be looking everywhere if you have lost so many things, or if you are grazing a flock of sheep. But in order to relax the gaze for a short while, I should look around. And if someone appears in my field of vision, I should look and say, welcome, but don't talk too much. All right? Or if you don't want to talk, then you can just greet with your head, moving your head. But to check if there is any danger in the path, I should look again and again in the four directions. To rest, I should turn my head around and then look behind. So, what he's saying is you should always be very alert, very alert. Sometimes, this human brain is very strange. When you do something, you take it for sometimes we like almost like move around like a zombie. We are not so sure where we are going, but we are going. We are not sure what kind of steps you're taking, and you're just going and then you fall. It happened with me a few times. One time I was in South India, and then I think somebody invited me for dinner. So they took me in that vehicle car. So when I reached near the place where we are to have dinner, this is human way of thinking, you see. Then when I alighted from the car, I thought it will be just a plain area, because we normally alight in plain area. So there also I thought it's a plain area. There was not much light there. So when I stretched my leg down, it went all the way down, down. So there was a pit there, you see. Yes, there was a pit. So really happens. Our brain take it for granted. You're okay, it's the same place where you went last time. So you really need to see whether what is there, what is not there. This is my example. Luckily, I have, long enough legs, so I did not hurt myself. So these things happen, you see. So you really don't take it for granted. And sometimes, in big cities, you have your purse behind, mobile phone behind, and then nothing will happen. There's no thief here, and somebody comes and takes it away. You see, it happens unless you remain very alert, right? So that's what it's saying. To check if there's any danger on the path, I should look again and again in the four directions. To rest, I should turn my head around and then look behind. Having examined both ahead and behind, I should proceed to either come or go. Being aware of the necessity for such mindfulness alerts, I should behave like this in all situations. Once having prepared for an action with the thought, my body will remain in such a way, then periodically I should look to see how the body is being maintained. So that means first you make the preparation, I will do like this. Then you should check whether you are doing that or not. With the utmost effort, I should check to see that the crazed elephant of my mind is not wandering off, but is bound to the great pillar of thinking about Dharma. Those who strive by all means for concentration should not wander off even a moment by thinking, how is my mind behaving? They should closely analyze their mind. But there are occasions when you're not doing meditation, when you're enjoying a big crowd celebrating, then you should relax a little bit. That's what he's saying. But if I'm unable to do this, whenever or involved in celebration, then I should relax. For example, if everybody is watching us sing, song, and people singing and dancing, beating the drums, what should you do then? You go there and then be meditating. Stupid. If you want to meditate, then don't come. But sometimes you are invited. I'm invited, to many places. So there you behave normally like other people. But don't get too distracted. But otherwise, I've even seen His Holiness during big celebration, Dharamsala. Of course, he has to be there. So I see him sometimes, petting his knees. He's watching a song and then it's good, no pretension. No pretension. Now, the next verse is talking something like about specialization. So, on and off, I find such nice verses. I found one very powerful verse on specialization in Buddhism in one of the work by Nagarjuna. So, here also I'm finding one. He says, I should undertake whatever deed I have intended to do and think of doing other than it. I should undertake whatever deed I have intended to do. This is wrong translation. And think of, no, and don't think of. The word don't is missing. And don't think of doing other than it. There's specialization. With my mind applied to the task, I should set out for the time being to accomplish it. So whatever you thought that you want to do and you have started, then just think about it, nothing else. And because you are focusing and concentrating on this, therefore you will be able to accomplish it. And Nagarjuna's text says, Kharse, Dawat Jebe Sating Seva Shankama Mambu Sojini Mai Kharse. Jivu Chawa Kanji Chik Titharchi. Kepa Jivu Chawa Kanji Chik Titharchi. Simba Jurde Manguji Shigu Dawa Jebe Sating Seva Shi Karma Mambu Sojini Mai. That is the Nagarjuna's verse where he say, any individual, whenever they do something, complete it. By doing so, your mind will excel. And then what is need there to do too many things? Dawa jebe setting salvashi, when the moon fully blooms in the space and gives the light all over the earth, that kind of light cannot be given by small stars here and there. Right? That is specialization. Do one thing, and then based on our ordinary experience also, if you do one thing nicely, that will empower you to do many other things. If you start a little bit here, a little bit there, and then in many cases these days they have what they call as a deadline, meeting the deadline. So I always tell people, before you meet the deadline, you will be dead person. So sometimes people say, Geshe, can you please translate this one? We'll give you this much money, but this is to be completed during, in such and such time and month. I said, take your money and get lost. Honestly, I've done this few times. Because you can't kill yourself, you see. Sometimes it may be useful, but many times the point is you should see whether you really can able to do it or not. Otherwise, don't accept anything. Don't make promises easily. Promise breakers are not better than shoemakers. That's what they say. Right? So if you concentrate and complete one thing, if you do like this, that's what he's saying. By acting in this way, all will be done well. But by acting otherwise, starting so many things, neither action will be done. You have one project here, half completed, another project here, just started, Likewise, there will be no increase in the proximate disturbing conceptions that come from a lack of alertness. If you concentrate, do one thing properly, then there is no opportunity for secondary or proximate disturbing conceptions to arise. You are completely lost into that. If I happen to be present while a senseless conversation is taking place, or if I happen to see some kind of spectacular show, I should abandon attachment towards it. Nowadays, when I watch spectacular shows, I normally not fond of attending many of these so-called spectacular shows. But these days, because of certain responsibility, when I attend such spectacular shows, I'm really not attracted. I'm now probably a sign of old age. When people are singing, dancing, what are you doing? Sometimes I get this kind of feeling, really. But when small kids sing and dance, then my heart moves, They're so cute. So, I really feel like going there and hugging, so cute. But then all people, unfortunately. So I'm a little bit trying to turn the clock back, right? So I'm making your life miserable. What? Whoever. Whoever, I attended a Tipa show so many times, It's more or less the same thing, Same thing. So, I mean, I'm not saying they are not good. They are good, but what is so much there to be lost and attracted, Drama, right? So, drama, Jenny. So if I happen to be present while a senseless see, conversation is still taking place, or if I happen to see some kind of spectacular show, I should abandon attachment towards it because there's nothing to be attached. If for no reason I start digging the earth, because whatever the human beings are doing in terms of the so-called spectacular show, the other animals and birds are doing this spectacular show all the time. Human beings able to fly the aeroplanes. We say, oh, we are able to fly. The birds have been flying for so long. And we give like gold medal to somebody who is the best swimmer in the world.
your practice.
Yeah, it is specialized, but it is quite difficult not to get distracted. Number one, right? We are like uh, ordinary human beings, susceptible to all kind of attractions. So therefore, he's giving warning: be careful. If your mind is not ready, you will get distracted for sure. That's one warning. But if you are not getting distracted, then you go and act. You are also enjoying. But deep down, don't get distracted, then it's fine. Then for ordinary people, not everyone will be able to practice like this great practitioner. So then tell them, yes, beautiful. Art is beautiful. Singing is beautiful. Jumping is beautiful. Encourage them. That's the conventional world. You can't destroy the conventional world. Right?
So, according to Buddhism, all art is conventional world.
Exactly.
No other element of it that transcends.
Exactly. Exactly. Because in one level, you see, in one level, you know, even the Buddha said, the worldly people think, no, the worldly people debate with me, argue with me. I don't argue with the ordinary people, worldly people. Because he said, because I also accept what you accept. But I don't get stuck there. I don't get obsessed there. But in your level, yes, these things are needed for temporary purposes, probably not the long-term solution. There's nothing else we can do. So, okay, that's what he's saying, yeah. That's why I once read a comment by somebody who said, the greatest scientist of the world and the greatest meditators who go higher in the mountain, they are lunatics. They are lunatics because they'll say something which very difficult for ordinary people to judge. So I remember the once, I think something like Milarepa. Very often Milarepa says this. If you look at me, I'm lunatic. When I look at you, you're lunatic. Once Milarepa, he hardly goes down. One time, I don't know why, he probably to teach a lesson. He went down on the plain area where some beautiful girls were like fetching water. They were singing and they have some nice ornaments, singing, dancing. And Milarepa just came close to them. And then most of the girls said, "What is this? A ghost? I wish that I will never take a life like this one." Then there was one little bit sensible woman who said, don't say like this. Maybe this is the so-called famous Milarepa." Then Milarepa said, he laughed and said, yeah, you don't have to pray. You will never become like me for many, many lives to come. Then he gave a long teaching to them. And he said they are so highly moved, then they took out some of their ornaments and give it to Milarepa. But of course, Milarepa will not take it. You see. So those more serious practices are completely looks like against the world. Looks like, yeah. I mean, imagine Buddha not eating for 6 years. It's the result he obtained enlightenment, you see. But not easy to digest. So you practice at your own speed, at your own level. You enjoy, you sing, you dance, but don't think that is the real meaning of human life. Okay, next question.
I have two questions, Geshe. So first is, how can you define the meaning?
First, you ask this to me. Second, you give, don't ask.
First is the meaning of conscientiousness.
Conscientiousness.
Yeah. And
Conscientiousness means, as I already explained, that whatever physical, verbal, mental action that you are doing, you should do it knowingly with full alertness. There's conscientiousness.
Synonym of consciousness.
Huh?
Synonym of consciousness is it? How different is it from conscious action?
Conscious.
Same as conscious action.
Conscious action, yes.
The second is in the last paragraph that we discussed, 48, 50, 49, 50. Yes, there was this act like a piece of wood.
Hmm.
So, being acting like a piece of wood means giving no reaction.
Absolutely. Right.
Okay, so
Somebody says, dog, don't bark. Just sit quiet.
so if actually being a piece of wood, ultimately, like, can we overcome this this triggers, this instigations?
So gradually through training, you will reach a stage where whatever people are saying, it will not make any impact on you. I mean, especially the nonsensical statements people make about you. Right now, we suffer because our mind is so sensitive. If somebody says you're so handsome, if somebody says you're so ugly, we are so sensitive. So that unnecessary sensitivity brings so much problem. Yeah.
And also, if you can throw some more light on secular ethics, and then
There's a story of a husband and wife. So the wife was very quarrelsome, shouting and saying something to the husband all the time. So the husband was acting almost like a piece of wood. He was not saying anything. Then she was so bothered by his not saying anything. At least you open your mouth. So for some people, even not acting bothers them. If you say it bothers them, if you don't say it, it bothers them. So what to do? Yeah. Okay, next question. Where is it? Yeah. Kawa. Yeah.
So my question is, what is the difference between heedless and mindfulness? What if we have a mindfulness and not heedfulness? So what is missing in, what will be the missing in my practice?
Heedfulness means heedful of what you should, heedful of doing the positive practices, heedful of not doing the negative practices. That's heedfulness. Mindfulness is simply watching. What are you doing? Yeah.
Thank you.
Jile Geshela, earlier you mentioned that don't be narrow-minded and we should have a wider perspective.
Yes.
So how can we have a wider perspective?
Wider perspective means all sentient beings want happiness, do not want suffering. It's not just thinking about you. All sentient beings want happiness, do not want suffering. Right? And understanding this all pervasive reality of everybody, that everybody is impermanent, transient, everybody is born, everybody is want happiness, things like that. Not only thinking about you, thinking about reality in every sphere. Yeah. Larger perspective. Probably I said this yesterday. Think globally, act locally. Think globally.
Chasa Lokesh, my question is a little bit like mixed up. Like during Tangpo in Ladakh,
During Tangpo.
during Tangpo, a month, Dawa Tangpo.
Okay.
In Ladakh, we pray and we kind of avoid eating meat and all. And like in Tibetan culture, in Tangpo, like celebrations and eating all, like meat and all. So what's the reason behind it? And in many religion, eating onion and garlic are considered little, like less desirable. And one more thing, like Geshe, few years back, I saw a video of people killing animals and then eating, and then I stopped eating. And after some time, I forgot all those things. Then again I started eating. So what advice would you like to give to us?
So your question is celebration, garlic and meat. Wow! Celebration, garlic and meat. So during the celebration, whether you should use garlic or meat or not, that's your question, right? No, I'm joking. So different countries have, like, on certain occasions you celebrate and you have elaborate banquet, which involves not just meat but all kinds of meat. That happens in Tibetan community, and I think happens everywhere. But then on other occasions like Sagadawa, I mean, it may be true here also in Dharamsala and in Tibet, people really encourage others not to eat meat because, and then the reason is on those special occasions, whatever you do, if you do good thing, it multiplies. If you do bad thing, also multiplies. So they are especially careful. I mean, I think this is a means to encourage people to do spiritual practice. Right, and then garlic and what? Garlic and onion. A garlic a day keeps the doctor away. Have you heard about this? A garlic a day keeps the doctor away. And the Tibetans and the Ladakhis say, don't eat garlic, it's polluting. They are actually talking about the same thing. I thought about it. Because if you are having difficulty sleeping, you know, you have a very strong wind disorder, then you eat garlic and onion, it will help you get sleep. Why? Because it is a little bit polluting effect. Your mind becomes a little bit dull and you are able to sleep. So that's why Tibetans say it is polluting. But for health, it is good. See? So it's from different perspective. Then meat, the Buddha himself has clearly said, you can eat meat, which is free from three extremes. Three extremes means if that meat is not specially killed for you, and you have not seen that this is killed for you, and you have no doubt that this is killed for you, then you can eat. If meat is available in the market, already selling like any other commodity, you can eat it. But if you have doubt about these three things, then you should not eat meat. Then when Buddha went or whatever, yes, Buddha once, it looks like, went to Sri Lanka. Then there is a text called Descending into the Lanka Sutra, Lanka Avatara Sutra. So in that text, the Buddha says, you cannot eat meat at all. Very strongly prohibited eating meat. Because it is said that in those days there were cannibals. Because of these special restrictions were given. Then also, you don't eat meat with this kind of animal with hooves and things like that. There's so many descriptions, right? Right? So, my answer is, I don't know what is my answer. My answer is, for example, in Tibet, these days when, you can defend eating meat. I also eat meat. You can defend eating meat. You can defend, if you want to defend eating meat, you can say that if you say, I don't eat meat because it comes from the animal, then there are many things coming from animal. You should not wear leather shoes. You should not use leather belt. You should not use any kind of skin. And not only that, you should not eat rice. You should not eat wheat, because rice and wheat come from farming. And while doing farming, so many insects are killed. So according to this group of scholars, they say if you think like this is like too far-fetched. You are talking about impossible things. You need to live, right? But you should know, you should eat meat in moderation, right? Then there are other, Mahayana sutras where they say, because you're talking about cultivating compassion to all sentient beings, how can you eat the meat of other animals? Right? So therefore, my answer is, if you don't eat meat, that is best. Don't put any reason, just that is best. If you're unable to stop it because of your habit, because of your health, then eat meat. But don't live as if you can't live without meat. Don't act like this. So occasionally for your health, a little bit meat. Go to hotel, go to restaurant, some celebration, act normally like other human beings. Right? So that is okay. Right? Then unfortunate thing is there are some people who don't eat meat. And then they say the only good thing you can do in the world is not to eat meat. If you don't eat meat, then it's fine to kill somebody. You're still a good person because you don't eat. I've seen some environmentalists, they say something like this. So don't go to the extreme. Like take His Holiness example. I'm not saying you should eat. The Buddha himself said that I never say I am vegetarian, non-vegetarian, because I lived by begging in those days, begging. So whatever is given to me as alms by people, if it's meat, I'll eat it. If it's vegetable, I'll eat it. I don't have this privilege of saying, I don't eat meat, cook a vegetable food. So they're just begging and going, whatever is given, eat it. And His Holiness himself. So that's why I say, sometimes because of habit, your health requirements, you have to eat meat. For example, His Holiness not only become, at one time, not only become vegetarian, but he become vegan. Because of that, he got sick and suffered from jaundice. His whole body, skin, everything become yellow. So His Holiness jokingly says, at that time I really become Buddha. Completely yellow. Right? And then, then later on his doctors advised that he should eat meat. So these days, one day vegetarian, his Holiness is very clever. He says one day vegetarian, one day non-vegetarian. And then he jokingly says, for 6 months I'm vegetarian. So something like that, but still I'm saying, if you don't have to eat meat, that's the best. Especially like young people need little meat. Elderly people really don't need much meat. Young people are growing, so they need little bit meat. So best thing is you should not only listen to what this Buddhist teaching is saying, but also consult experts on diet, what your body needs at what age. And meat actually, it may be delicious, but it actually, your body also becomes more smelly and dirty when you eat meat. I have experienced that, you see. Right? I've read one article which says the vegetarians does the greatest damage, greatest harm. So
That article must have been written by a non-vegetarian.
possible, possible. Okay, next question. Yeah.
One last.
Tashitele Geshe-la,
Yeah.
as we have discussed before, and as Buddha has himself said that Buddha cannot, what do we say, cannot himself free us from the sins which we have committed. All he can do is show the path. It
Yeah.
depends upon us whether we choose it or not. So likewise, but when it comes to eating meat, or when it comes to doing any kind of like even before walking, I've seen like there are different mantras. Like before eating meat, there is like one mantra is chanted so that the negative deeds gets diminished or something. So I don't understand, Geshe-la, like if mantras, if really mantras can solve this, that eat and meat. I mean, you get me, Geshe-la, you
Yeah,
understand?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, those techniques are there. But I'm sorry to say that I'm not good enough to make any judgment. But there's a little bit hypocrisy there. If you're so concerned about animals, stop eating. Why eat and then some mantra? Irony, yes. Life is full of paradoxes, you know. You have to play many roles. Yeah. Then? Done? Done? Okay. Okay.
You may sit down. We have so we have a small announcement. Kindly please settle down for a moment. I'll surely let you go in just a minute. So after this we have group discussion, right? And then we have for today we have another fun activity where we are heading towards Jamba Animal Care Center. Till today we have like learned about bodhicitta, how to cultivate bodhicitta for all sentient beings, right? And even the batch one students went there and they all enjoyed it and they all connected with the dogs over there, right? But then you also we need to also